Super excited to have you on today. Excited to share some things with you today. Today is Les Brown week. Well, this week is Les Brown week. Today is day number 4. If you have caught the earlier episodes, you've heard a little bit about his backstory, about how he helps pull the great story out from within you, a little bit about him. Actually, you know what? Let me back up. Maybe this is your first time here. Maybe you don't even know what this is about. So this is called Big Purpose Mastermind. Each day of the weekday, I go through a different master of influence, and we use them as a case study because I think we all have a big purpose to accomplish, something greater than ourselves. You know, it's a purpose, a calling, a mission, you know, some sort of life's work that we need to get out there, and we need to make sure that we can do that. So what I am doing is I am evaluating some of the great people and some things that they have done to get their message out and to truly serve and live life to the fullest, to have that exuberance of life. So that's what this show is about. If you have not, if you missed earlier episodes from Les Brown, then you just want to go to schoolofhumanity.tv and you can hop in here for free. This gives you access to all of the other days, so you can catch, 1, 2, 3, and today's 4 for Les Brown, or you can catch everyone else that we've got in there. That's schoolofhumanity.tv. Just kind of throwing that out there for you. Actually, real quick, let me just turn this off for a second and just tell you a little story. So today I went out to breakfast with my son. He's 17 years old, and I was talking to the waitress there. It's a lady that I know, and we got chatting about age. And and it turns out we're both the same age, within about 4 months of each other, something like that. And I said, "Oh, would you ever go back, thinking about, my son here at 17 and just the challenges and trials that he's going to go through?" And we both were like, "No, never." And then she brought up, "Would you go back to your 20s?" And I thought about my 20s, and I thought, oh my goodness, I wouldn't go back to my 20s. But then she said, "Oh, but I'd love to go back to the 40s." In the 40s, that's when I kind of knew who I was and what I was about, and still have the health, not the achy bones and all that stuff. Anyway, it kind of got me thinking about how we show up, how we live, and as we discover who we are and what we're about, the more we learn, the more we like ourselves and like where we're at. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you, just kind of thinking about you and where you are with your purpose and discovering who you are. So the guy that we are looking at is a fantastic master of influence, Les Brown. We've been looking at him all week. He is so remarkable. I'm amazed at him. Again, if you catch some of those earlier episodes, you may hear how he was a motivational person for me when I was down and low, and I really needed to, find a way to make things happen. So happy to have found him. So if you're watching this live, give me a hashtag live. Let me know that you're there. If you're watching this on the replay, hashtag replay there. Let's get some conversation going. Again, this is for you. This is about you, wanting to help you absolutely live your purpose. So here, I want to show you a couple things that Les is doing. And let me pull this on over. Okay, so he's like 75 years old, or maybe even more. I can't remember. I listened to some of his stuff a little earlier. And here's his Facebook page. Okay, and if you look on here, you can see that he's look, he was live. He does these lives, and actually we can scroll throughout. He has tons of different live streams that he does. Oh, these are some other people. He does tons of different live streams that he's doing all the time. This one at the top, that was 2 hours ago. Okay, he's not able to get his message out as a speaker. Right now, during the time of this recording, it's still kind of COVID time and places haven't opened up and he's not able to get out there, but yet he is. He's able to get his message out because he's showing up online. Actually, one thing that's really kind of cool that I am involved in right now is there is an online summit kind of thing. It's a challenge. It's called Own Your Future Challenge. You can go to ownyourfuturechallenge.com if you're watching this live or you catch the replay in the next couple of days. But anyway, they are talking about you and I. They're talking about people who feel like they have something to contribute. We've got wisdom, we've got insights, we've got something that's going to help the next person back. And they're giving great ideas and suggestions on how to do that. And this is Tony, Tony Robbins and Dean Grazioso. I mess up his name, but they're leading this. Yesterday, they announced they had 900,000 people registered for this. Okay, that means you're not alone. We're not alone. There are people like us who feel like we have something to offer, that our lives matter, and they're getting their message out there. I hope what we share today, and I hope what you find in schoolofhumanity.tv, that you will find some resources and some tools that will help you get your message out there in remarkable ways. You know what? I didn't set up my chat right, but if you're on live, give me a "Hey, I'm here" kind of thing. And let's see if we could get some chat back and forth. So let me just hook this up. While I'm doing that, let me share with you. Okay, so let me share this with you. Okay, so this is from one of Les's live streams that he did. And I'll just point out a few things. I fast forwarded to a part of the story that I think is applicable to where you're at right now. So with that, here we go. Let me turn up my volume so you can actually hear it. Okay.
Oh, it's for me.
Okay.
I wouldn't. They saw me as competition.
Let's see.
A young man asked me yesterday, "Why are you talking to me? I'm talking to you one-on-one. People on your level don't talk to me. Speakers on this level trying to learn. Why? Because I want to help you get there and shorten your learning curve. I wish I could have gotten someone to pay attention to me. You're gifted, young man. I can tell it. You're on a mission. You remind me so much of myself when I was your age."
Okay, speaking of somebody on a mission, we've got my Aunt Joy Wilhite. She is here from Stockholm, Sweden. She's actually on a mission. She is living her calling. She's living her purpose. Her and my wonderful Uncle Jim are out there helping people over in Stockholm. Okay, I love that. I love that whatever we are doing, whatever our calling is, we have this feeling, this purpose inside. We want to get this out. Video is just such an amazing way to do that. If you listen to Les here, so he's doing this Facebook Live. Again, notice his eye contact. He's speaking right to you. And he's telling this story about just the other day. I talked to this young man, and he said, "Why are you talking to me? People on your level don't talk to me." But if you notice how he's talking to you right now, it's very personal. It's that one-on-one eye contact. He really cares. He wants you to live your purpose. He wants to pull that out from within you. I just love that. I wanted to give that to you as an example. So again, if you go to Les Brown's Facebook page, you can see that he's doing this with people all the time. He's connecting with them. He's using the technology that we have right now. Maybe he feels limited that he can't get out in front of a live public, audience, but he's showing up in the way that he can through Zoom and other things. Actually, one thing that I will just note in here, this is just a suggestion for you. It's not meant as a criticism to Les, but if you're doing these, one thing I recommend is don't use a fake background. Les can kind of get away with this because everyone knows his name and he's super famous. But where you're starting out, you want to have everything be authentic. Don't use a virtual background because it signals in people's mind that there's something fake about you. Above all, we want to be our true, authentic selves. And when we show up as us with our imperfections and everything, people love that about us. So make sure that when you show up real and authentic. So with that, I want to show you this next video. And this is a really cool story that he shares. It's kind of a longer story, so I'm going to take you through a few little snippets of it. Okay, so it starts out, and he has this memory of kind of how he started out. What was it that got him going into what he's doing right now? And he was loving his work, working for these people. I think he was working at a radio station, and he found a problem. And so let me share with you the problem here.
And I've been tracing my tracks. People always asking me, what did you do differently than others, the thousands of other speakers out here that allowed you to become a national and an international voice of motivation and greatness? And part of the process is I decided I wanted something new for myself. I wanted something new for my family. And I wanted to be able to control my own destiny.
Okay, so that's kind of some of those feelings that he had within him, and it started with this story. I'm going to fast forward just a little bit to 3 minutes in, where he was working for these people, and he wanted to take some time off, and he followed the rules to take the time off, and they didn't let him.
In fact, I was working on a job, and I asked in advance, could I go on vacation? I followed the guidelines. And at that time, it was like 2 to 3 weeks. I asked. And when the time came, they told me no. That's the general manager. Why? Look, I did it within the parameters of what you've laid out for me. Why are you telling me no? You know what he said? Because I can.
Okay, so he has this little bit of a setback. He wants to go on a vacation. He asks in advance. They tell him no, and the reason they told him no is because I can. Now he realizes somebody else is in charge of my life, and he doesn't want to live that way. And so what he's going to share is how he got out of that. And this is something, again, that you can apply in your life. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you can follow these same suggestions. I'm going to fast forward to 9:30, and he talks about some habits and some patterns that he started putting into his life that helped pull him out and gave him just a remarkable opportunity that has changed everything for him.
Trust me on this. Work on you to improve you. And it starts with working on your mind. So when I got off from work, unlike most people who go home and start watching the television, I went down to the basement. I started listening to motivational messages. Now I have my own. I started reading 30 to 40 pages of something positive every day to retrain my thinking. The major things I think that prevent people from living a bigger life from my own observation and including myself.
And you've got a big purpose.
Number one habit. You get accustomed to doing certain things.
Okay, so I'm just going to stop it there. But he started listening to other motivational speakers. He started working on himself. He started working on his mind. He says in this whole story, he says, you will get a lot further in life if you work on yourself rather than if you work on your business or you work, on for somebody else. Working on yourself, improving yourself, doing these habits where you are working on your mind so that you believe things are going to happen, so that you have confidence in that, and so that you have something to give. These are remarkable things that Les has brought to us because he put those habits in place. So if you feel you've got a big purpose, if you feel you've got a mission, a calling, a life's work that you have to accomplish, and you're trying to figure out how to do that, work on yourself first. Okay. Again, if you want to catch some of these other episodes that I've done with Les has got just some amazing stories. He does some amazing things with video. Pay attention to that. Just go to schoolofhumanity.tv and you can get down here into the archives. You can hear Meg Johnson's stuff. I absolutely loved her interview that she did on day 5 there. In fact, I went back and listened to that last week because there was just some stuff in there that was deeper than I expected, and I really want to make sure that I understood that. So that is schoolofhumanity.tv. You can get into that free. And actually, let me put a quick caption up there so that you can see that. Whoop. And Joy, it was a joy to see you here. So glad to have you on the totally other side of the world. Hope you're having fun. Hope Jim's taking good care of you. And hope that you guys are fulfilling your mission. And for anyone else watching this, either on the replay or in the archives, at schoolofhumanity.tv. I hope that you are truly going for your purpose, your mission, your calling in life. I hope that you're listening to that little voice inside of you that says, yes, you are meant for more. And I hope you do those things to discover what that is and that you truly live who you were meant to be. And with that, I say, I'll see you tomorrow. Oh, there we go.